Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Brood War upload. This is a game between TT1 and GGaeMo on Blue Storm. In the top right side of the map, we have the orange Zerg player. It is going to be GGaeMo. GGaeMo is a currently retired StarCraft pro gamer from Korea who used to play for Air Force ACE. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is TT1. TT1 is a Canadian Protoss player who used to play for Root, does not anymore. Both players do quite a bit of streaming on Africa and Twitch, different places, good places to see Brood War. I'll put links in the description to both of their streams if you're interested in seeing more of these players. And again, it is going to be a ZVP, red versus orange, today for you here on Blue Storm. Interesting map. I don't think I've cast a game on this one yet. You just have this really long path running across the middle of the map here directly between the bases. I think it's only a two-player map based on that alone, I'd have to say. Hatch here, just about halfway done for our Zerg players. Got a pool coming in as well. We do have a bit of harassment out of that probe. And our Protoss player is going for that Forge Expand. Forge Fast Expand, which is very popular here in Brood War. Helps to defend against early Ling harassment. Gets your economy up and running very nicely as well. Is our sound... You know what? I always feel like I want to bump up the sound a little bit. Just a teeny tiny bit. See if that comes through you a little bit better. Overlord moving on down at ×2 speed. He looks funny. Looks very funny wiggling his legs down there. Probe just scouting as well. A third hatch coming in for our Zerg player GGaeMo along this right side and down. That does get scouted by the probe though. A bit of a greedy opener from the Zerg, but he feels safe enough to do so because the opponent did go for the Nexus, the early Nexus in this build, this Forge Expand play. And there's a cannon up, and this is really hard for Lings to either get all the way around or harass. The cannon cannot be surrounded very easily by Zerglings. And as soon as somebody actually sends some attacking units out, we might actually slow this game down a tiny bit. Yeah, Ling's going to chase this probe, and it's kind of very similar, actually, to a StarCraft 2, in that Lings are a little bit faster than probes when they attack. They have to slow down a tiny bit. They stop for a second, and then they lose their attack. And it takes them all to catch back up again. Is that a lair? That is a very fast 4-minute lair here from the Zerg player. Popping up. Looking fantastical as always. And it's okay, so there is a Zealot here. Let's slow it down just to the fastest game speed. Zealot popping out of his little hiding space between these two mineral patches, these two mineral fields. Trying to kill drones. Actually getting one there, which is nice. Possibly another one. Ling's popping on out. And again, the positioning means only one Ling can attack at a time. The Ling's waiting for the Zealot to pop out. Finally, scouting probe dies to those Lings that don't quite have speed yet. They don't have speed yet at all. Who's excited for StarCraft Remastered? The StarCraft Twitter feed has been releasing a lot of awesome stuff. Oh, stacking the drones to get on top of this Zealot and try to kill him. The Zealot isn't attacking. What? Is this glitching out? He's attacking now, and he's still alive, but the Zealots do finish him off. So that was pretty effective harassment with a single Zealot. Anyway, the Twitter feed for StarCraft has been releasing a lot of just screenshots, little hints of what they've improved for Brood War Remastered. It looks nice. I mean, it's not like super cutting edge stuff or anything. They're just improving, not bringing up to 2017 necessarily, or even necessarily 2010, which is what StarCraft 2 was at initially. But at the same time, I don't know, it's going to be nice. I'll definitely be casting quite a few of those games, so hit that subscribe button if you want to see more Brood War. I cast 1 or 2 Brood War games per week as it stands, depending on what I can get from my subscribers, what I can find on different sites like ICC Cup. If you want to send me your Brood War replay, go ahead and send it out to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Brood War. Tell me what level you are, like if you're a beginner, intermediate, like super great pro level, anywhere, somewhere in there. The Corsairs are out, though. I keep doing that. Is there a mouse sensitivity setting I can use here? The Corsairs out. The Scourge want to kill him. Scourge do single target damage. They hit really hard. Ooh, big time hit there on that Corsair, knocking down almost all of its shields and like 30 hit points on the hull as well. You do not want to get hit by Scourge if you're anything in the sky. That is all I can say to you. So the Lings are out. We got the Scourge. Usually we see Hydras from the Zerg in this situation. There it is. Hydralisk done. Hydralisk den done. Hatchery coming up as well. There's a macro hatch, not really necessarily close to anything that it can mine from, but just additional production of larvae, as there are no queens in Brood War, as I'm sure a lot of you already know. Zealots, a lot of Zealots. A surprising number of Zealots here from our Protoss player getting scouted. They are getting scouted by the Scourge. Ling's ready to rock, though. They are ready to fight. Getting a surround on one of the Zealots. That's what you want. That's the attack you want, is picking off Zealots one by one where their friends can't help them. the Lings coming up. Look at these macro hatches being thrown down by GaeMo. And TT1 with the Zealot attack. There are Hydras supporting these Lings, though. Oh, no, but now the Lings are dead. The Zealot's on top of Hydras. You got a micro better than that. There we go. A little bit better than that for sure. Losing a couple Hydras regardless. Trying to sneak around inside this mineral line. Trying to sneak around somewhere. These Zealots are doing way more than I thought they would. More Hydras keep popping out because there are 3 hatches here now at this third base location. So many dead Hydras, though. This base is in a lot of trouble for our Zerg player. He's forced to retreat. I think his drones are running away now. There are Hydras. There are 4 Hydras here, but there are still like 5 Zealots. Drones are forced to fight, which is not something you want to see as a Zerg player. They're forced to fight. Running away are the Zealots now, and I don't know why. I thought they were in a pretty good spot to get some attacking stuff done, but maybe the Hydra count was getting a little bit too much. The drones are back to work. There's actually not a Vespene Geyser here at this third base, surprisingly enough, so no gas income here. Just going to be minerals, which means Lings. So many Hydras. So many Hydras out. Production tab. I wish there was a production tab. Every time I cast a Brood War game, I wish there was a production tab to show me what's going on. I don't know how people have been professionally casting Brood War for so long. I mean, you just... Maybe somebody's observing and like manually inputting it so you could tell what's going on. Who knows? Who knows? Zealots killing their own cannon there. I don't know why. Maybe so it's easier to get out. You don't have to walk through that mineral line to get out of the main base. This is a lot of Zealot. They have +1 attack too, which means they do 2 shots, which is 2 swings of their Psyblades to kill a Zergling, which is very nice, which is actually super nice if you're going to fight a lot of Zerglings, but not as good if you're going to fight Hydras. As we're seeing here now. No upgrades on the Hydras. Ooh, the Templar are out. Do they have Storm? I wish I could tell if they had Storm. Let's go here. Temple Archives is not researching Storm, but if it's not done yet, it will get started very shortly. You just don't have High Templar without Storm against Zerg. It's just the way of things is what it is. All right, so Hydras don't really want to stand and fight. They're just kind of rolling around. They're juking. They're juking these Zealots, and are they going to go down towards the... Maybe down towards the Protoss base here. Maybe down... I don't know. GaeMo... Oh, GaeMo picks off a Templar, but look at this. So many Zealots at the third location. Once again, High Templar with the Storm. Look at how many Hydras that took down. That was 3 or 4 Hydralisks. Templar getting a little bit too close comfort here for TT1, and he gets killed. Oh, I think he had enough for another Storm, too. What a tragedy. That was a big-time tragedy there. Zealots getting surrounded by several more Hydralisks. They don't care. They're going for it. That +1 attack is really helping them, deciding to retreat. Never mind. We thought we'd go for it, and then there were too many Hydralisks. It's time to pull on back here. So TT1 going for a lot of those Zealots. A bunch of Dragoons here now, so that's very nice. Excellent job trying to go for a third base along this left side. GaeMo says, I don't know about this. I don't know if I'm going to allow that one to happen. Hydras trying to sneak on across the map from right to left and possibly deny this third base entirely. There are some Dragoons, but again, Dragoons and Zealots not that great against Hydras with the +1 attack, especially with those upgrades, and when there are this many in this number. Has he upgraded? Has he morphed in a Lurker Den yet? No, I don't see it there. Hydras coming in from the top side to the bottom left side, and yep, killing these cannons. Zealots and Dragoons trying to protect this third base. It's not even actually up yet, but there are some... Oh, there's a cannon that dies as it's warping in. Pretty good micro on display here from GaeMo against TT1. The Corsairs can't really do much. Taking a shot from... Ow, from that Scourge. That was bad. Big old Storm, though. Oh, Hydras just get eaten by Storm. Just get eaten by Psionic Storm. It is so good in Brood War, but picking off the Templar, getting revenge on their Hydralisk brethren. For their Hydralisk brethren, Hydra count a little bit anemic. Reinforcements do come in though, and trying to pick off that Templar before you get a Storm off, and they do. Oh, they get it. Well done indeed. So just basically rallying Hydras across the map right now to the third base. He knows if he can keep TT1 from getting a third base, he's probably going to win this game. TT1 needs to make a push. Needs to push this army back, if at all possible. The cannons just aren't being allowed to come up at all. High Templar with enough energy for one Storm, holding back for an opportune moment here. And there it is. There's a good Storm, finishing a couple Hydras off, getting another one as well. How the upgrades looking for these guys? +2 is done for TT1, and GaeMo's just kind of sitting on the +1 there, if that's something that you're worried about. So moving from left to right now, are the Hydras coming on back home. I don't see any sign of harassment necessarily. Third base Still sitting here. Bit of a 3-base all-in, almost, I would say, from GGaeMo. Did not expand behind that attack at all, and delaying the 3rd base immensely from TT1, but retreating, coming back home. I don't know why. Although, maybe he's just trying to regroup, get into a larger group here. Are you working on +2? Tell me you're working on +2. Where are your evolution chambers? You have one. I know you have one. Here it is. And he's just now starting +2. A little bit late, 12 minutes into the game so far. All right, we have Dragoons with +2. A lot of Dragoons. How many is this even? Can't tell. It's a large group. 122 supply for the Protoss player compared to 185. What? 85 for the Zerg. TT1 killing it, man. He's got High Templar too. This is not looking good for the Zerg. I would say this Mass Hydra thing, I think he tried to win it straight up in the first 10 minutes or so. Couldn't quite get it pulled off here. Dragoons, I imagine they have range. I'd be shocked if they don't. Overlord comes in, gets murdered. Ah, the Mutas are out. The Mutalisks are out for our Zerg player, but not doing so well against these Dragoons. Look at them just die here. The Templar getting picked off. Dude, moving them to the front is not what you want to be doing here. No, 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 no. Stay back. Stay back. Templar. Oh, got a storm off anyway. Big time. Oh, huge time storm there. This is looking really bad for the Zerg player. Mutas forced to fight. Dragoons forced to fight. Actually doing a lot better than I thought they would here. The Dragoons are all fighting back here. Pulling back, retreating, and the Mutas are giving chase as well. I did forget to mention I found this on teamliquid.net, this replay, if you're looking for more. It's a good resource. And just chasing these Dragoons home. Mutas aren't that great at straight-up combat in Brood War, but here, where the Dragoons aren't fighting back, it's actually working out pretty well for them. So 3rd base did get established. TT1 did expand behind that one. A 4th base now coming up, and just finishing for GGaeMo in the bottom right corner. And it's just, I think it's just Hydra Muta right now. Interesting strategy. As I guess the Corsairs have a hard time against all the Hydras. That's how this will work. Hydras, Mutas here at the 3rd base. Storms. Even if you try to dodge it with Hydras, you're going to lose a few Hydras. You just are. Storm is that fast. It hits that hard that quickly. Storm dodging is difficult. Even if the Hydras have speed, it's just hard, is what I'm going to say here. All right, so more Zealots are here. No Archon, surprisingly enough, just depending entirely on Storm, is TT1. And so far, I'd say it's working. He really needs to stop bringing his High Templar to the front of his army to get murdered by the Hydras before they even get any Storms off. He needs to keep them behind. I feel like they're all in one control group, and he's just like attack moving with everything. And the Templar, because they don't have an attack, they'll move where you want them to move, but that puts them in the front of the army with the Zealots, which is not super ideal. Not super ideal, but he's got 4 High Templar here, which does not bode well for our mass Hydralisk player. Overlord's getting destroyed. Just flying around trying to scout. They're just trying to scout, man. Why you gotta hate on those fellows? Suppose they are fellows. More pylons on the way. It's 136 supply for the Protoss player compared to 91 for the Zerg. And this looks like a pretty scary push from TT1. He's got +2 attack and +1 armor. Templar are here. Hydra a little bit clumped up. There's the Storm. Kind of whiffed on that one a little bit, though. Whiffed on that a tiny bit. I don't know what the Muta count is. I cannot see them. I'm not actually sure where they are. Are they harassing? Not according to the minimap. I don't see them harassing anywhere. There are some. There's Scourge in different places. Overlords covering as well. And just that we have a really big attack space here going from the top to the bottom right next to the 3rd base of our Zerg player, GGaeMo. Dragoons trying to murder these Overlords as well. Zealots getting on top. There are the Mutas ready to rock. Storms on the right side. Zealots finishing off those Hydras. It's a bit of a flank attack from the Zerg player, but not working out entirely well. Oh, the Storm, the huge Storms. That was a big one. Another big Storm eating up some of these Hydralisks. It's coming down to the last second here. Again, the upgrades +2 attack done for the Hydras. More Storms up along this right side, just eating the Hydralisks for breakfast here today. That Templar's out of energy. Almost has enough for another Storm here. Don't turn into an Archon instead. There are Archons here. And that Archon is trying to get summoned, but gets murdered by the Hydras instead. And ooh, Archon gets killed pretty quickly there. Templar. That's the Templar death sound. You heard that. If you're just listening, as some people do. So Hydra, not many Hydras left, but he is pushing the Protoss opponent all the way back home here. More Zealots. More Zealots at the front door. +1 attack, +1 armor. Still what we're looking at for the upgrades. Hydras have that +2 down. And where did my mutas go? Where are my mutas at? They keep disappearing on me and I can't find them. They all die? They might have all died. That was a pretty big battle. I couldn't really keep an eye on all of it at the same time, but the mutas might have just gotten stormed or dragooned to death. Either of those things are pretty solid options. 80 supply available for the Zerg player and 133 for the Protoss. So he keeps having a substantially high army supply here. Well, total supply here. I don't know what his worker count is. That might be factoring into it. Again, units tab, income tab, something. Something along those lines would just be the greatest of all time. So that fourth base in the bottom right is up. No really sign of an expansion from the Zerg player beyond that. Still on 3 bases is the Protoss. Again, you can stay on bases mining a little bit longer than you could. Or than you can with StarCraft 2, especially the current build of Legacy of the Void. You mine out very, very quickly. Are these mutas? Oh, it's a single lurker. Single lurker sneaking down here. Look at him sneak, and burrowing behind this mineral line at the 3rd base and going after these probes. Big old attack. Lurkers on the ground. Zealots not having a great time with the storms along the top side, eating those Hydralisks. Oh, all the lurkers are gone too. That did not go very well at all for GGaeMo. Zealots continuing to press their advantage. Dragoons doing additional damage from the backside. That +2 attack doing 24 damage per shot. You can just hear consistent death on the Hydralisks today. Is this lurker still murdering stuff? Still murdering stuff. 13 kills on that lurker is not bad. 3rd base under direct assault. 78 supply available for the Zerg player. 130 for the Protoss. Not doing a great job with the pathing on these Dragoons. Got to move some up. Got to move some up here. Big swarm of Hydras coming in, though. This is the power of the Zerg. The ability to remax very quickly. The Hydra's doing a great job picking up a small portion of TT's army here. They're kind of trickling up 2 or 3 at a time. The Hydra's having a wonderful experience here. Archon trying to join the party, doing a full 36 damage splash against these enemy units. Getting picked off from range by Hydras, though. Archons aren't that great, as it turns out. This 3rd base under direct assault, though. All the drones gone. All the drones are gone from this 3rd base. It is straight up Dragoon versus Hydralisk right now. 4th base is done for TT1 to the right side of his main. This lurker still here. This lurker has 28 kills. He has shut down the 3rd base entirely. Entirely for TT1. TT1 just doesn't have an answer to it. Not sure if he wasn't paying attention, if he didn't notice, but that's 28 kills on that lurker. It's crazy talk. Observer, come kill this lurker. Army can't see it because it's burrowed in the ground. Come on, Observer. Nope, Observer says I don't care. Maybe these ones do. Maybe these Observers care about that lurker. Do they? No? Not really? Now? Perhaps? Now they do. Alright, so 4th base is done, which is super duper useful. This 4th base of our Zerg player is not very well defended, and honestly, GGaeMo's been lucky that TT1 doesn't know that it exists. I'm pretty sure, well, maybe he does now. He's making a beeline for it. Perhaps he had to assume that it exists based on the macro displayed by GGaeMo. TT1 pushing in with his +2/+1. I guess this is all the upgrades that he wants right now. +2/+1. There is a lurker here. He does get stormed to death with some Zealot support there. This 4th base is going to die. The army coming in with the Hydralisks to the 4th base of TT1, though. Is this turning into a base race? This might straight up be turning into a base race, you guys. There's some Zealots trying to save the 4th base, but they are severely outnumbered by all of these Hydralisks. The army coming back. Once that 4th base is toast of GGaeMo's, then the 4th base is gone for TT1. He couldn't save it. He was trying to get here in time. He could not save it. Lurkers trying to join the party. Just getting killed along the way, though. Picking off reinforcements. Kind of a big part of StarCraft. So many dead probes. I don't know how many probes are left for TT1. I don't see many. He lost so many at his 3rd base, so many at his 4th base. Still really nothing going on for GGaeMo either. It's not like he's rolling in the minerals in this game. I would say 100% he is not rolling in the minerals at all. So TT1 not content to stay back and defend. Trying to walk on into this Hydra group. A good storm would be nice. No, decides not to. There's Hydras on the left side and the right side here. Coming against the Protoss army. Are the Templar ready to storm? Is the question. There are a lot of observers for this. There's the storm. Not a great start. That's a better one on that left side. Oh no! Big time. The storm again eating up all of these Hydralisks. They are gone. The lurkers are toast as well. The observers making sure about that. 60 supply for the Protoss player. GGaeMo is sitting at 40, and I think that might all be drones. I mean, he has a handful of Hydralisks here, but he's severely outnumbered right now, and that's it. A good game. Good game out of GGaeMo, and TT1 is our victor today in 22 minutes. Well done indeed from the Protoss player, making it happen. The Storms, man. The Storms is what did it for the Protoss. Pretty good control on the Dragoons. He did a better job keeping the Templar kind of with the army rather than running them out in front, which is, again, not something that you ever want to see. Put your Templars on different control groups, Protoss players, if you're playing StarCraft of any kind. And yeah, once he killed that 4th base and came in pushing on that 3rd, I mean, he did not have really much left here. He was trying to get his probe count back up at his 3rd, but what was that? 20-something plus kills on that one lurker. That might be the best lurker I've ever seen. Okay, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Brood War upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.